Hello and welcome. I recently watched season 1 of Spy Family, what ended up being one of my favorite shows of the year, and wanted to give my recommendation as well as review on what I thought of the first season. So let's get started. Welcome once again. My name is Austin, and on this channel I like to talk about one of my favorite things in the world, movies, and in this case, TV shows. One of my favorite things to talk about with movies is discussing my faith, tying it with film and everything that is in between. So, Season 1 of Spy Family introduces us to a spy known as Twilight, better known as Lloyd under his cover, and he must form a family for his new undercover mission and adopts a daughter and comes across and marries a woman that he meets. What's unknown to him is that they have secrets of their own. His wife is secretly an assassin and his daughter is a psychic and can read minds. They also adopt a dog about halfway through the season that can see the future. Each of them individually deals with their own lives while also working to maintain the cover of a normal family. It's a really fun mix of drama with comedy, with action. There's a lot of different elements to this series and different types of genres that it kind of bleeds into that I think it does a really good job meshing together for a good cohesive series. Moving into the primary characters, starting things off with Lloyd, the main character that we follow. I thought he was just a really interesting character throughout the series. He has this side of him that is very serious. He's very methodical. He's very smart. He thinks things through and in some cases overanalyzes stuff. His brain is always working. And sometimes that plays to his benefit and sometimes his detriment. And so it's really interesting seeing the different sides of his character while he's trying to maintain this facade of this Lloyd persona that he's created for the undercover role of a father and a husband. And so I really enjoyed just seeing that dynamic of his character as well as the chemistry that's established and we get to see explored through the wife as well as the daughter. And so speaking of the wife and daughter, first talking about the wife, Yor, I really love her character. She's so funny because you think Lloyd has two sides to his personality of the undercover persona as well as his spy nature. Yor is even further on the spectrum, that she can come across as a bit of like absent-minded, a bit ditzy at times, very compassionate and naive in some kinds of ways, but at the same time, her assassin side of her personality is very smart. She's very ruthless. She is very focused when she's on that mindset. And it's really fun just to see those different dynamics of her personalities in her character. And then you add in Lloyd's character and the daughter Anya, and there's just so many fun moments that you get to experience where she's dealing with normal day-to-day stuff, but then you go in her head and she's talking about what she would do were she not scared about hiding who she is as the assassin and stuff. So you get some really good comedic moments from those different sides of her personality. She's notoriously a bad cook, which is a running joke kind of throughout the series, which I think is just hilarious the way that they utilized it and explored it throughout the show. And then moving into Anya, I think she's just the cutest little thing. She's like, I think she's going into kindergarten or first grade or something. And so she's all excited because she has this family now. And then she gets to go to this really cool school and gets to make friends, all that kind of stuff. She has such an imaginative and creative personality. She's obsessed with this spy show that she watches on TV. And then she, being the psychic, is able to read the minds of her fake father and mother. So she knows that mother is also an assassin and she knows that dad is also a spy, but she wants to maintain this facade of the family because she's happy that she finally has a family. So she keeps each of their secrets secret, but at the same time is trying to help them accomplish their goals and their missions and stuff like that. So it's just really funny to see all of the things that they're hiding from each other, the sides of their personality that they try to keep to themselves, mixed with this facade that they all have together and these shared circumstances. It all makes for some really fun and entertaining stories and subplots all throughout this series. And as a whole, the story is just a fun mix of exciting adventures as well as laugh out loud, hilarious shenanigans that they get into. I have not watched really an anime comedy series before, so I really enjoyed just the writing of this show, the dialogue, the jokes, all of it was really funny. I literally would laugh out loud at least once per episode at something that was happening. So I really enjoyed that mix of things being serious at times, but at the same time, that funny nature. Now, breaking down in a very spoiler-free way, kind of the structure of the story and the season, we kind of get the first few episodes to introduce us as well as the characters to each other. So, we're meeting Lloyd and Yor and Anya, as well as some of the other side characters that we'll kind of follow and will pop in and out throughout the series. And so we're establishing their cover stories, all that kind of stuff, and they're kind of starting the initial phases of this mission that Lloyd is working on. So they're one of the first parts of their mission, they're trying to get Anya enrolled in this prestigious school of all of the kind of political figures in the city that they live in. All of their kids attend here because they want to be they want their kids to be future leaders as well. So there's a lot of very preppy and proper kids there, while at the same time there's just this hilarious dynamic with Anya being this little imaginative, creative, klutzy little girl. She's so funny to see interact with the different kids there. So she's getting acquainted at the school, making friends, meeting some bullies, boys, all that kind of stuff. It's really fun. And then, like I said, we get introduced some side characters, like Yor's brother, who is incredibly overprotective and obsessed with her. He actually works for the government, so there's some funny dynamics there with Lloyd knowing that her brother works for the government, trying to get information out of him without figuring out that he's a spy. All those kinds of just really funny moments between them. And then, like I said, halfway through the season, we get to the adopting of the dog, which they name Bond, and it's just really fun to see Anya so happy with this dog that they've gotten, and finding out that he can see the future. Obviously, she can read minds, so she can read when he sees the future in his mind, which makes for some really funny moments. And then there's this like tennis championship subplot side mission that Lloyd goes on towards the end of the series, which introduces a new character. I won't spoil anything with it, but creates some tension amongst some of the characters. But it's really fun because there's still that over-the-top nature to everything with the action and the story and some of the comedic moments and the drama. But at the same time, it's so grounded, it's so authentic and genuine. You just love spending time with this family and these characters, because as they're working on this mission, so to speak, they're also actually starting to care for one another and appreciate one another's company and stuff. As far as some minor criticisms, I would say in the second half of the season, as we kind of move towards the finale a little bit, some of the episodes become a little bit episodic. There's multiple kind of standalone stories that don't necessarily contribute too much to the overall plot, but despite that, you enjoy the characters, so I still enjoyed those episodes enough. They're few and far enough between that it didn't really hinder my experience of the show, because it was kind of like, let's just follow this character for the day and kind of do a bit of a side quest with them. So not necessarily a hindrance on the series, but worth noting because it did kind of catch me off guard a little bit, and those were some of my less interesting episodes in the series. And I thought the finale was good. It sets up kind of Lloyd's next moves, again, spoiler free, moving forward, and kind of sets up some dominoes as far as what's going to be happening and taking place in the next season. And then, like I said, they're at that point, they're starting to genuinely care for one another, even though this is a fake family for this undercover mission. So overall, for the series, I think it's incredibly fun. The characters are so charming. There's also amazing music. I love all of the opening and closing sequences, as well as some of the miscellaneous songs sprinkled throughout in some of the sequences. I've gone multiple times now while watching the show and both after the show, of just listening to the music from it, the soundtrack. It's really good. I love it. It's kind of like a really chill, jazzy type music that I really connected with. So it really enhances that exciting story, the comedic moments, the more heartfelt moments of the series. And like I said, overall came together for what ended up being one of my favorite shows of the year. So despite some of the minor issues that I had with it, I would still give this series a 9 out of 10 for season 1. I can't wait to see where we go with season 2, hopefully this year, because I know they've confirmed a season 2, as well as a movie that they're going to be making, an anime movie that is. So I'm really excited that we're going to get more of this. I've been interested enough that I've thought about reading the manga as well, but it's just a amazing series that I've really enjoyed, and I highly recommend more people check out. So if you've seen this series, feel free to join me in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I will see you in the next one.